What is up, guys? Welcome in. My name is Nick and welcome to the channel. And we're going to do something a bit different. We're going to do a versus type of video in this one. I, as you know, have recently just got a sequential shifter, the Moza Sequential Shifter to be specific, and someone left a comment on my video, apologies I can't remember your name, as to see which is quicker, paddles or shifter. So we're going to do two different forms of testing. We're going to do fastest lap, so the paddles versus the shifter, and then we're going to do the hot lap, which is a 5-lap race, overall race distance time wins again versus paddles versus shifter. And yeah, the results are probably what you think they're going to be. Right guys, welcome to Suzuka, and obviously welcome to the Peugeot. This is what we're going to be using for our test today. We're going to be using the Peugeot touring car at Suzuka Full, and we're just going to be doing 3 hot laps quickly, 3 back-to-back hot laps. Just obviously going to do our first warm-up lap here, and yeah, we're just looking to see what the quickest time we can get in this first stint is. We're then going to do a quick hot stint, so that is where you basically like a 5-lap race and you take the overall race time, and we'll just see, so anecdotally, what I think I prefer, and also obviously which has the better numbers. So I'm pretty sure the paddles should win. There's a reason that obviously most manufacturers have moved away from sequentials to flappy paddles when it comes to actual factual racing cars, so they are much smarter than me. I'm sure there is a reason for it, but I don't know. I felt anecdotally that the shifter may not maybe like quicker on the ultimate lap pace, but I feel like it's maybe a bit better in terms of planning out, I guess, what to do when you get into the brake zone. I'm a bit too prone to pushing it a little bit too late, braking a little bit too late, shifting down a little too late. And yeah, I think the sequential, because you have to take your hands off the wheel, put it back on again, you just have to do that stuff earlier. So the car is naturally just a bit more settled, a bit easier to control, etc, etc. So for this, we're just going to do 3 quick laps. We're not going to, well, we're going to, if it's a dirty lap, we're not going to sort of redo it. We're going to treat this as if it were a qualifying session where we just got 3 laps to get the best time that we can, and then yeah, we'll do the hot stint, where again, if we mess up, we mess up. That's all part of it. So yeah, we're just going to see what comes out on top. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the paddles, but this is why we do this, just to make sure. So yeah, we're just going to make sure we get through 130R reasonably well. Yep, there we go. Okay, so Casio triangle important. You want to brake just before the 100. Use all the curb on the way in so you can get far over to the right hand side. Maximise your turn through that part, because obviously your flying lap time starts from the exit of the corner of the lap before. So, oh, I'm getting my muck and fuzz world. I'm stuck on a lot of them today. So yeah, here we go. First of the 3 flying laps. Not a bad opener. 2:18.3. So down to 4th, drift it out wide, a little bit of throttle, second half of the corner, keep it in tight, don't get on the throttle too early. There we go, that was a pretty good run through there. Through the S's, just balancing the car on the throttle, generally keeping it in 3rd for me and my gearing through here. Balancing it on the throttle, steering it with the throttle as well. Make sure you don't drift too far out to the right hand side there, it will drag you all the way out to the grass if you're not careful. Now for the Degners, 4th gear on entry, cut the corner, you probably cut a little bit more than that. With my gearing, it's a bit of a weird sort of, you kind of want to be in 2nd but also kind of want to be in 3rd. Wasn't the most aggressive through the Degners there that I could have been. Right, braking just before the pole. Get the car turned, not the greatest of exits. Went in a little bit too hot. Was scrubbing the tyres at the beginning part of the corner, so I'll probably bring that braking point back a little bit, or forward, away from the corner a bit, basically. Right, braking just at that little bit of tarmac on the right hand side, drifting in 3rd all the way out to the right. Little bit of brake down to 2nd, let it roll. After you crest, put on the throttle. There's a little crest there through spoon. If you don't want to put the throttle on before that, because otherwise you will wash wide as the car goes light over the crest. You want to wait until you've got over that bit, wait for the car to settle again, and then you can put your power on pretty nicely. So this is pretty much just a lift through here. test of commitment. A little bit of a lift is fine. Again, braking just before the 100. All the curb on the way in. A bit tighter on the way out than I would have liked. Tight to the right hand side as you come down here past the entrance to the pit entry. We are looking at, what's that, 2:13? 2:13.1. It's a very quick time, to be fair. Then we've got 2:12s in multiplayer. Still probably a little bit of time to find. Gone a bit deep here. Going to be losing a lot of time through here. Yeah, 2/10. A little bit of dirt on the way in as well. This one's probably not going to be an improvement. I know it could be a bit more aggressive on the entry to Degner here. That's better. There we go. Could have got the throttle a little bit earlier. I was too early and then I was too late. Right, so let's brake a little bit earlier. There we go, that's better. Off the brakes earlier. Give the front tyres maximum grip. There we go. Made up about a tenth or so there. That's better. Don't go too wide. If you go over that curb, it will sort of pull you off the track. There we go. Clear the crest. There we go. Left nearly 2.5 tenths up there. Right, slow on entry. That's better. There we go. Earlier on the throttle on the way out. Might be a little bit better. It's going to be a bit close. I think I was slow on entry but quicker on exit. Yeah, lost a tenth there. Still into the 2:12s. So final run. Carried too much speed through there. It's going to be a lot of lost time. Okay. I'm so shocked. I've completely missed the apex of the first part of the S's there. How are we still up on time? Okay, maybe I have no idea what I'm doing. This feels so much slower. There we go, that's a bit more what I would have expected. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be the one. I don't think we're going to make 2 tenths up in the last 2 corners, considering one is predominantly flat, or just like a little lift and turn in. Right, for the final time, sprint down to the line. Close. Not quite. So, 2:12.9. 2:12's a pretty good time. So I could do that in multiplayer, so that's pretty good. So, there we go. 2:12.9 for the flappy paddles. Let us do the hot stint version now and see how we get on. Okay, so for the hot stint, we are going to be doing a race around Suzuka Full. We're going to be doing 5 laps, starting at noon. Time progression roll in, dynamic rubbering off. Weather is going to be forced to clear. Gravitars down to 0 because I don't want any AI messing up the results in this, and that's pretty much it, to be honest. Time progression rolling, fine. Time for time scaling, fine. And then for the car, some specific stuff with that, we are going to make sure we put in fixed amount of fuel. We're going to do 33% of the fuel tank, soft tyres. Alright, so yeah, 33, a third of the tank with soft tyres. So that's how we're going to run these hot stints for both this one and the sequential. So let's get to it. Right then. So, hot stint number 1 with the flappy paddles. Let's see how we get on. We're going to try and obviously go as quick as we can, but minimise any issues. Well, incidents, I guess is probably a better way of describing it. Try not to drive like an idiot, basically. We're going to try and drive quickly, not stupidly, which is difficult over 5 laps when you're trying to push it, but that is the aim of the game. Ooh, a little bit of understeer there. So yeah, the key to this is consistency. This is where, like, this is more race simulation. It's not trying to find every last tenth. It's trying to be consistently quick. Try not to make sure you like absolutely mess it up coming into one corner and lose loads of seconds there, because that could be the difference between winning and losing in the hot stints. There we go. Not that there really is winning and losing here. This is more just sort of find out for my brain more than anything else. So I'm pretty sure sequential is not going to beat flappy paddles, because there's a reason they stopped using sequentials in race cars for in use of flappy paddles, but we're going to research it and just find out why. Let's see what the difference actually is, and why I think I might be better with the sequential. I don't know. Not too bad on opening lap, say a 2:18. If we get that, by the time we get back to the line, that's going to be a pretty good first lap. We have a lift for 130R. That was not great. That was a terrible entry. Casio triangle, there we go. Not the greatest of runs, but not terrible. A 2:17.8. Okay, that's a very quick opening lap time. Obviously, there is going to be some level of adjustment in performance, because obviously the more I'm doing this track, the more I'm going to be getting used to it. So there is going to be an element of me getting quicker as the tests go on, but that is just human nature. There's not much I can do to rule that out, unfortunately, other than sort of doing it cold on a different testing sessions. But unfortunately my recording schedule doesn't allow that. So again, not a scientific experiment, just hopefully entertaining piece of media for you to watch, and for me to learn what's going on, to be honest. It's, let's say, my initial use of the sequential, I felt like I was being quicker, but I probably felt I was being more consistent and the car was being more controllable, but that doesn't necessarily mean quicker. So yeah, that's why we're doing this. So there we go, managed to limit the wheel spin coming out of the hairpin this time. Now, you're probably wondering why I decided to choose Suzuka, because it's not Brands Hatch, which is obviously one of my favourite tracks, and it's mostly because a lot of this track is... I don't think it's not the easiest one to do when you've only got one hand on the wheel trying to work the sequential. There's a lot of ones that you want to use sort of downshift mid-corner. There's a lot of sort of lift and coasty kind of places. There's a mixture of that and then hard braking points. So it's all about trying different scenarios for the shifter to see if there's any downsides, and if that means, like, if I'm not as confident going through, say, turn 1 because I've only got one hand on the wheel because I'm trying to downshift, like sort of here, where I'm wanting to have also a little bit of lock on. Maybe that's going to be something that affects me. Oh, I lost half a second through there. Wow. But yeah, that's just why. It's just there's a good sort of different mix of corners on this circuit. So some of them that you want to sort of say, some are quite frantic, some aren't. Some are sort of heavy braking points, some are light braking points that you just want to sort of cover the brake and shift down and roll through. So it's just a good mixture of different corners, elevation changes, and a lot of areas where driving one-handed with force feedback could be potentially an issue. So yeah, that's why really. And I like Suzuka. It's a 2-minute lap as well, so any mistakes are amplified. There's a lot of corners per lap, so if there is any inherent difficulties with one or the other, it has a lot of time to show its head, basically. So it's not the greatest of runs, where it's still about half a second off, which we were after turn 1, so it's not too bad for the rest of the lap. But yeah, turn 1 was a bit horrific. Oh, a bit of dirt on entry. Oh, just about keeping it on track. That felt good though. That was not great. Blew up a little bit though. Might actually set a faster lap than we did in Rivals, which is be interesting. Late on the shift down. Thought I'd shifted again, hadn't. It's not too bad though. Didn't lose too much time through the corner. Depends how much time we're losing down this straight is the next question. No, not really losing anything at all. Gained a little bit. Accidentally grabbed second there, didn't mean to do that. Going too much through the corner. Could have lost all of that, yeah. We're going to lose more down this back straight as well. Not a great lap, this one. Not terrible, not great. Oh, well, I say that's better than my fastest lap so far. 2:12.9 again. Too much. I cut in too early into the corner. Made the second part of that corner much tighter than it needs to be. Completely out of position for the S's now as well. Just losing time all the way through here. Slow through there, yeah. Slow on entry. I was worried I was going to hit the dirt on the way in. Not going to run through the hairpin either. Oh, this has not been a good lap. Could be throwing it all away in this lap, you never know. Right, maximum commitment. Little lift. Probably slower than what I normally do through there. Yeah, it's about the same. I always have to slow more than you think coming into this corner. Right, out of the Casio triangle for the final time. Not the greatest of runs out of the corner. But here we go, 7.5 tenths down. Meaning we're going to finish the race there. And we'll just wait for the final screen so we can see our race time. Best lap time was close to our PB. So we did 5 laps around Suzuka in the Peugeot with the flappy paddles at 11.11 and 7 tenths. 11.11, 7.49. Right, now it's time to switch the shifter. Right guys, so here we go. This time the only difference is we have the shifter. Everything else is the same. We are in rivals. We are just going to do a warm-up lap and then 3 quick laps and see how we come out. So, not pushing too hard on this first lap here. Got to get used to using the shifter again. Going back to the flappy paddles, it's weird how quickly that you sort of lose the feel of one versus the other. Yeah, see, I'm just feeling like I'm getting the turn in earlier. I know I'm probably braking earlier, but it feels like the car is a lot more stable. I'm not trying to ask too much for it, which is my own fault when I'm using the paddles. I'm a bit too just asking a bit too much of the grip, and the car's not settled how I want it to be. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be quicker, but I don't think it's going to be a million miles off. Right, here we go. Relatively good run through the Casio triangle there. So, first lap, we did a 2:17.8 opening lap. Okay, okay. I'll see you. That's pretty good. That felt pretty good. That was just me messing the line up there. It's going to be a much tighter line through here. This is not going to be a good run. Losing a good few tenths there. 2, maybe 3 tenths through that corner line. It's feeling pretty good so far. On for a monster lap at this rate. Gotta have commitment through 130R. Bollard in the way isn't going to help. Oh, just about keeping it on the track. Right, good run through here. Not the greatest of runs through there. Got a little bit too aggressive on the curb on the way in. Wasn't quite able to balance the car again for the way out. Still going to be a quick lap time though. 2:12.9, so we're pretty much exactly the same time. I'm honestly shocked with that first lap. I'm not going to talk too much because I do drive slow when I am yapping on, but for a first attempt, that is pretty good. Considering we didn't have a great run through the S's either. Wow, up 4/10. Jesus Christ. Half a set. Okay. Take it back. Shifter is the way forward. Do we hold that through spoon? We find more time through spoon. What in the actual is happening? See if we get a better run through here as well. Because it was a bit squirrely-whirly last time. That's a much better run. Jesus Christ. Right, let's not unbalance the car too much. Let's get a nice turn in. On throttle early. Bogged down a little bit on the way out. I tell a lie. We're up nearly a second. 2:12.0. 2:12. I don't think I've done a quick lap on this track. That is madness. Right. One last time. There were still some areas we could have cleaned up as well. Yeah, carry a bit too much speed through Degners there. You're going to lose... No, okay, I thought we was going to lose time on there. I haven't got a clue what's going on, apparently. My butt dyno is terrible. It's almost another exact same time as well, and there is obviously time for me to find because I was nearly 2/10 down earlier coming out of the hairpin. There's still time to find as well. Felt like I was going to push the braking board a little bit further that time. It didn't bog down quite as much. Race to the line. Oh, 2:12.6 and a 2:12.2. 2:12.0.6 and a 2:12.0.2. Well, that was very unexpected. 9/10 of a second quicker. Right. Let's move on to the next one. Right, guys, so time for the stint, the hot stint, the 5 lap run. Let's see where we come out with this. Just to confirm with you guys, same fuel, 33% as we had before, soft tyres. Obviously, I did notice in the previous one I didn't set any fuel or tyre wear, but that's fine, the parameters are the same, so the results will be at least be able to be cross-referenced with each other, although they might obviously differ from real-world usage. So, yes, let us get on with this final one here. Let's see if we can beat that 11:11, because nearly a second a lap quicker on that quick lap. That's very interesting. So yes, hot lapping is one thing, being consistent is another. Weird thing is, I just said coming to this I felt more consistent using the shifter than I did the paddle, so this could get interesting. Certainly not the way I was expecting the hot lap to go, at least. It probably just means I'm very, very slow with the paddles more than it means I'm quicker with the shifter. But let us try and settle in to this one here, get the tyres warmed up, get into the rhythm. So opening on a 2:17 will be a great time, that's what we had last time. 2:17.8 is basically like a very, very good opening lap. A little bit too greedy through the second part of Degner there. Here we go, so we can get maximum commitment for the first run through 130R here. Obviously, no off tracks for penalties, stuff like that would be very useful because that obviously will factor into our stint time. Not the greatest. I did do a little bit of a cover of the brakes on the way in. Just a sort of a passive reaction rather than planning to do it. But here we go. Let's see where we are on our opening lap. Say 2:17 is a very, very quick opening lap. $2:18.0. Okay. Yep. It's good. That felt very good through there. A little bit off through the first part. It's going to put me out of line for a lot of this. Not too bad. Managed to salvage it towards the end. Wide of the apex there. Bit late on the brakes there. Lost a lot of time. That was more how I go through that with the paddles. I think I was pushing it a little bit too far to be able to shift it down. Got a little bit understeer towards the second half of speed. Up 5.5 seconds though, so we are on course for another, will that be mid-12s? Tight broke in the line there. That felt good. Up nearly 6 seconds, Jesus. Should be in mid-12. 2:12.3, so that's already quicker than we had as our quickest lap with the paddles. So I can't tell you exactly why. I don't know whether the Forza just likes it in terms of the shifting on it. But there's no logical reason that the shifter should be quicker than the paddles, because obviously I'm going to take my hand off the wheel to do it, so I'm having to do it all. I think it's just what I'm learning here is that there's some bad habits that I have with the paddles that as I'm relearning with the shifter I don't have. So consciously I think I'm noticing I'm coming off the brakes a bit earlier than I would normally. So again, I don't know if that's part of it. I mean, it's probably lots of little bits that now I'm relearning how to do everything with the shifter. I don't have the bad habits I had from when I didn't really know what I was doing. So I'm wondering if that is mostly the issue. It's just my bad habits that have snuck in over the years of racing games that I don't realise that I'm doing, that I'm now unlearning because I'm having to use the shifter. Oh, it's very interesting. Very interesting. $2:12.5. Wondering if it might be better to go through there in third. That felt quite slow, but apparently the time says otherwise. Still up, 0.12 of a second even. So could be pushing a 2:12.2 in race trim. That's with race fuel on softs. That's pretty good. A bit too greedy into here. Bit too greedy through the Casio triangle, unfortunately, but Not too bad. Lost a little bit of time. Maybe half a tenth. Yep, 2:12.5, final lap. I don't feel this is the greatest of runs through here this time. I think seconds is the one for there. Yeah, I was about 10th up going into that corner. I'm now 10th out, 10th behind, coming out of it. That was a messy run through there as well. Not the greatest of final laps, but it's all to do with the overall race time. Obviously 11:11 is what we had previously. So out of the final corner for the final time. It's not the quickest lap to end on, but we are still looking at a 2:12.5 maybe. Did manage to make up a fair bit of time through the Casio Triangle. 2:12.4 to end it there, and let us see what our final race time is. Right. 11:08, so that is about 2.5 seconds quicker. So I think we're a low 11. Was it 11:11.2, something like that? 2.5 to 3 seconds quicker over 5 laps. That's over half a second quicker per lap with the shifter versus the paddles. It makes no sense to me. I don't understand it. The only thing I can think of is that it has for some reason pulled me out of some bad habits that I have, which means I need to go in and look at what I'm doing with the paddles and stop it. As I think I'm just trying to do too much at the corner entry phase. That's probably where I'm losing all my time compared to the shifter, because you have to have it all done before you get there. But yeah, this is a surprise. So there we go, guys. As I said, the shifter won, which goes against all forms of conventional motorsport, considering people have moved away from having a stick that changes gear to flappy paddles. So I don't really understand that, but other than it's a skill issue. It's the only thing that makes sense, or it's the game prefers shifter to paddles in terms of, I don't know, balance or speed of shift or whatever, I don't know. But obviously there is quite clearly a benefit. I got a 9 second faster hot lap, and we were averaging half a second a lap quicker over 5 laps, which is massive. Be 3 seconds ahead down the road on 5 laps. It's massive amount. So yeah, I don't really know with that one, to be honest. It's not what I thought the result was going to be. But yeah, this is where we are. I think we're going to be using the shifter going forwards for multiplayer, because for some reason I seem to be quicker with it. But if you've enjoyed this one, guys, do please press the like button down below and subscribe if this is the style of content that you'd like. Leave me a comment if you thought this was going to come out this way, or if you are as shocked as I am. And why not click on the one on screen now, which is where I first took out this shifter for multiplayer, and I spent about 25 minutes just making penis jokes. So yes, thank you for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.